Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for my first ever Q&A. I appreciate all the questions that you've sent in on my Instagram in the past couple of weeks. Great questions, and I'm going to answer a few of those today. Okay, the first question we are going to answer today is one about lemon water. Now, I've been drinking lemon water every morning for a long time now. I'm going to say like 15 years. And so, two things right off the bat that I think make it a great idea. One, it gets you started on your hydration for the day right away. So that's really good. I've been doing it for so long that now I try to drink 2 glasses every morning. The other thing is that if you squeeze half of a lemon into your water, into a good sized glass, like 16-ounce glass, that is going to give you 25% of your vitamin C for the day. I think those are some pretty good things, but if that's not enough, here's some info from the Cleveland Clinic. So according to the Cleveland Clinic, the lemon juice in lemon water is an acid, and that helps your stomach digest food better. As we age, we start to lose some of our digestive acids, and so drinking the lemon water really helps with that. Another thing is that the acidic acid in lemon water helps prevent and break down kidney stones. If you already have smaller kidney stones, it can completely break those apart. That information comes from the National Kidney Foundation. Also, the vitamin C in water is an antioxidant, and that helps keep your cells healthy. So I say, why not? Drink that lemon water in the mornings. Okay, the next question is about promoting better sleep. I have a lot of suggestions in this area. One of the most relaxing things you can possibly do is have a nice hot bath before you go to bed and put Epsom salt in the bath. I also like to drop a few drops of lavender oil in as well. You'll want to use probably about 2 cups of Epsom salt, and you can get that at any drugstore. You can get it at Whole Foods. You can order big bags on Amazon, which is what we do. It's a lot cheaper that way, but it's huge. Okay, so if you're really not the bath kind of person, I suggest that you try a magnesium supplement. You want to get magnesium glycinate. You won't have side effects from that, and it won't make you feel groggy in the morning like something like melatonin does. I don't take melatonin anymore because I would always feel a little hazy the next day. I take 2 magnesium glycinate at night, but I would start with 1 if I were you and just see how that helps. Now, another thing that I would do is if you're the type that wakes up worried about something in the middle of the night, start keeping a notepad and pen by your bed. And before you go to bed at night, write down anything that you're worried about, that you're thinking about, that's on your mind and keeping you awake. And also go ahead and put down your to-do list for the next day. Just get that stuff on the notepad, get it out of your head, and then you won't have anything to wake up and worry about. And you can take care of it the next day. All problems seem smaller in the daylight. Another thing you want to do is make sure that your room is really comfortable. Experts say you should have the air on anywhere from about 65 to 67 degrees. I usually have mine on about 66 or 67. So keeping the room nice and cool really helps you sleep for a lot of different reasons. Also, make sure your bedding's comfortable. Make sure you like your pillows, your bedding, your mattress, all of that. Now, if you spend a lot of time in the evening watching television, working on your computer, looking at your phone, you definitely want to invest in a pair of blue light glasses. Those will really help. Put those on a couple of hours before you go to bed, or just get off of all that stuff for a couple of hours before you go to bed. Easy for me to say because I go to sleep every night watching TV. Another thing is make sure your room is dark. If you have any technology in your room, like I do, a television, a security system panel, anything like that, you can buy those little dots from Amazon that you can use to cover things like that. They are the tiniest little lights in the daytime, but it's funny how at night when your room is dark, they're just like beacons in the night. Another thing you can do to help you sleep well at night is to get some exercise during the day. Even if it's a 15-minute walk around the neighborhood, a quick jog around the block, a little time on a stationary bike, or even maybe some sort of yoga class or cardio class, that will help you sleep well at night. And if your sleep patterns just get totally out of whack, if you're traveling, maybe you've got some jet lag, maybe you stayed up really late one night, or you just couldn't even sleep at all the night before, try getting out first thing in the early morning light, maybe 10 minutes, get a little light on your face, on your arms, just get out and get a little sun. I know it sounds like it's not going to do anything, but for me, it works every time. I've been doing that a lot the last couple of weeks, and it's really been working well. I've been getting some of the best sleep that I've had in years lately. Okay, the next question is about getting rid of plastics in the home. Oh my gosh, this is just like never ending. I first started trying to do this about 15 years ago, and the first thing I did was I threw away all of my plastic food containers, and I invested in a set of all glass containers that have plastic snap-on lids. At least when you take the lid off, you can reheat in these, you can keep them in the fridge, whatever. So that was the very first thing that I did. Something we've done recently is we are trying to switch to all of our drinking water being in glass and being filtered water. If you've seen any of my recent videos, we just started having Mountain Valley water delivered to our home. It comes in a big 5-gallon glass container. We all use our Stanley cups. We have them in every size. We fill those up. We can take those with us to school, to the gym, just in the car. And I feel like it's causing me to drink more water. Great for the kids. You can send them to school. Hopefully they'll allow you to send a container like that to school. I know that no one wants to send their kid with a glass bottle, so definitely invest in a good container that is BPA free and hopefully something that's stainless steel. Okay, some other really easy things you can do to get plastic out of your life. If you pick up clothes from the dry cleaner, immediately get those plastic bags off of there. Not only will you get rid of plastics, but the plastic bags trap a lot of chemicals into the clothing, and then you take all that into your closet. Just take those bags off before you even bring that stuff in the house. Another thing you can do, if you're going to go to a coffee shop to get coffee, take your own container from home. Those cups at the different coffee shops, they may be paper, but guess what? The lining on the inside is a form of plastic. So otherwise the container would just fall apart. So I use one that's made by Swig, which I love. It keeps coffee super hot for a really long time and it never leaks. Swell makes a good one as well. So give those a try. Another thing I would consider is when you buy your meat, don't buy the pre-wrapped in plastic meat in the grocery store. Go up to the butcher counter and have it done there, and they'll wrap it in paper, which I think will be a little better. You can choose more natural fibers in your clothing. That's a hard one, but if you're that dedicated, you could give that a try. Another thing to do is to not consume as much processed food. Things like cereals, snack cakes, cookies, chips, all of that. It all comes in plastic. Even if the bag seems sort of paper on the inside, it's usually lined in plastic. So try to have less of that in your life. Probably the most dramatic thing that I did to get rid of plastics and man-made materials was I got an all-natural mattress. It's made from wood, rubber from rubber plants, wool, and cotton. I also did all organic bedding and organic pillows. So if you really want to take this to the nth degree, that's something else you can do. Good luck. Okay, our next question is about trying to get rid of stress. Now, I know you probably hear this all the time, but deep breathing is really great for stress. Probably the trickiest part is realizing when you need to do it. If I'm stressed, I will find myself walking around throughout the day, like not breathing. I mean, obviously I am breathing at some point, but like I'm holding my breath. So anytime you feel that stress, the hardest part's recognizing when you have it, but just stop and take 3 deep breaths. I've tried this and I know it makes a difference because I can see it on my Fitbit. When I do deep breathing, my resting heart rate goes down. So that's probably your first line of defense, and you can do it anywhere. Another thing that really helps with stress is exercise. If you feel stressed out, go for a quick walk or run. Do some kind of exercise, jump on a bike, whatever it is. Do some jumping jacks. But that helps with the cortisol and the adrenaline that are flowing through your body when you're stressed. Another thing that really helps is meditation. And I know you're probably rolling your eyes and thinking, meditation, that's ridiculous and silly. And not only that, but I can't do it. It's too hard. How do you think of nothing for an extended period of time? Well, there are tons of meditation apps that you can put on your phone, and many of them are free. And you don't need to do like a 30-minute meditation. Try 3 minutes, maybe do 5. I think if you were to do 5 on a regular basis, it would really, really help. And this is another thing that I've been able to measure on my Fitbit. I haven't done a lot of meditating lately, but I was really into it a few years ago, and it was shocking how much my resting heart rate would drop after just doing 5 to 10 minutes. Usually when you use these apps, they have you focus on your breathing. And when you're doing that, you can't think about anything else that might stress you out. So I really recommend just having an open mind and giving meditation a try. So our next question is about probiotics. Specifically, what is the deal with probiotics? Okay, the deal is that probiotics are amazing for so many things. First of all, we know that they help with gut health. Okay, then we now know that gut health is responsible for your digestion, of course, also very good for your immune system. And now researchers are finding out that gut health can actually help with mental well-being. So I think probiotics are great for that. I take a high quality probiotic, and I definitely think you want to do some research into what kind you should take, how many probiotics they contain, all of that. I take the supplement because there are not a lot of probiotic foods that I like. I think yogurt is probably one of the easiest ways to get your probiotics. You got to make sure it's not a a sugar-filled yogurt, you need something sort of plain. Sometimes you can even get a yogurt that's actually fortified with more probiotics. A few of the other probiotics that I do like miso in miso soup, and I also have a recipe for a miso glazed sea bass that I really like. But I don't really like your typical probiotic foods. I don't like sauerkraut. I don't like kimchi, but I do like kombucha, although it's got a lot of sugar to it. So see if you can find one or two things that you like that are probiotic. Pickles are another one that a lot of people like, but I'm also not a pickle fan. I've learned recently that cottage cheese has probiotics in it, and I've been using that a little bit. I put it in my scrambled eggs. I need to find a few other things that I can do with cottage cheese. There are also some other cheeses that you can get that are fermented and have probiotics, but you're going to need to get a really high quality cheese from like a cheese shop or the cheese area at Whole Foods, where the people who work there can help you select different types of cheeses, and all the cheeses are labeled, how long they've been aged and that sort of thing. I know I get a 12-month aged manchego that definitely has some probiotics in it, so that's an option. So prebiotics are also important for your probiotics. Prebiotics are what probiotics feed on. Onions and garlic are one of the big ones, and I eat a lot of that, so I think I'm getting all my prebiotics. Anyway, good luck with this, and let me know if you find some different probiotic foods that work well for you. Okay, our next question is, what is one simple thing that you can do for your health each day? Without a doubt, I'm going to say take vitamin D. You need a vitamin D supplement that has some vitamin K with it. This helps prevent so many problems. So that's my answer. Our next question is about my gym routine. My gym routine is in recovery right now. In the last couple of years, I've had some pretty major injuries. About 2 years ago, I slipped on some freshly polished hardwood floors and I broke my shoulder. So the recovery on that went really well, but it took a while. And about 2 months after I could get back to the gym from that, I slipped on wet marble during a hurricane in Mexico, and I ended up spraining my foot in about 3 different areas. For some reason, a sprained foot is harder to heal than a broken foot, and a broken shoulder too. So it took forever, but just a couple of months ago, my foot seems to be pretty close to normal, and I'm just now getting back in the gym. So I love cardio, and I especially love the Stairmaster. That's kind of been my cardio of choice for a really long time now. Years ago, when I first started going to the gym on a regular basis, I decided to look around and see what woman in the gym was in the best shape and what was she doing. So I saw the woman, and I saw that she was on that Stairmaster every day, and I started doing it. I have one at home. I use that one. I also do it at the gym. Now I'm trying to work in more weightlifting. I lifted weights with trainers for years, so I have good form. I know what to do. I just have a hard time getting motivated, but I know especially as you get older, it's more and more important to lift weights. So I'm really trying to stick with that, and hopefully you all can keep me motivated. So that's my gym routine. Okay, the next question is, what if I only have time to do one thing in the morning? What would that be? Okay, this is a tough one. I have a good morning routine, so there's so many different things. But one of the things I really love doing is getting out first thing in the morning and getting that early morning light. It puts me in such a good mood, and it definitely helps me sleep well at night. My husband and I are doing this together every morning, not on purpose, but just by complete accident. And it's a good time for us to get out there with our coffee, and we get to catch up and talk about what we're going to do on our day. Now, speaking of coffee, the other thing I cannot live without in the morning is my bulletproof coffee. Don't know how long I've been drinking this. I'm going to say like maybe 8 years now, but I love that I can now enjoy coffee in the morning with no sugar and no dairy. It also keeps me full so that I can keep doing my intermittent fasting until about 1 p.m. So I can't narrow it down to just one thing. I love both of those. The next question is a very sweet comment and a question as well, asking what kind of face treatments I've been doing. So the big thing I've started doing this year is I've really gotten into the LED red light masks. I've got one for my face, I've got one for my lips, and now I just got one for my neck and chest area. I have been religious with these every single night before I go to bed since I got them. And at first I thought, well, I'll try the one for the face. It's probably not really going to do much. And then I started noticing when I would put my makeup on that my skin would be more plump. I'm starting to see less and less of the sun damage that I got in all those years of tennis. So I'm really hooked. I'm going to stay with it. And in a few weeks, I'm going to have a video that's going to be all about the red light LED therapy for face, décolleté, and body. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. Our next question is about my skincare routine. I'm not not sure I even think of myself as having a routine because I'm always trying different things. But this year, I've become very consistent with a few different things. I am really getting into serums now. So every day I'm using a vitamin C serum in the morning. At night, I've started using the Barbara Sturm hyaluronic acid serum. It's pricey, but it's really fabulous. I really don't like to use any skincare products that are scented because to me that just seems like more chemicals. I like to use clean products. I've been using a lot of Rhode products this year. I love her glazing milk. I love her barrier cream for the face. I'm probably going to set that one aside for when the weather gets a little cooler. Another thing I've changed to this year is that I'm using an oil cleanser. I get the one from Primarily Pure and it's made with beef tallow. I feel like not only does it do a great job of taking off my makeup, but it's also a little bit moisturizing. Now, certain times of the year, if I feel like my face is a little oilier, I'll go ahead and do a second cleansing using the Barbara Sturm cleanser and just make sure I get all the traces of oil off. Another thing I've really gotten into lately is the Dr. Dennis Gross two-step peel. I'm not even totally sure what the name of it is, but it comes with 2 little packets. The first one has some different acids in it, and you go over your face with it for 2 minutes, and you just kind of let it sit for a second or two. Then you go over it with a neutralizer. I'm trying to use that at least twice a week, and it's a really effective but mild exfoliation. And when I just want to pamper myself and add a little more moisture, I love any kind of sheet mask. But my favorite right now is the Loop sheet mask. I love that it comes in 2 different parts. That way you kind of get a custom fit with it instead of one size fits all. So easy to place it in the right area, and I really enjoy that one. Okay, the last question is, what are some things that I suggest for making wellness easier? Okay, well, I'm a huge fan of habit stacking, and so I'm always kind of trying to do 2 or 3 things at the same time. I think habit stacking sounds better than multitasking. So in the morning when I'm making my coffee, I'm taking my vitamins at the same time while I'm waiting for it to brew. At night when I'm putting my red light mask on, I'm also dry brushing at the same time, maybe putting a little moisturizer on. Another thing that I like to do if I know I want to go work out in the morning, whether it's just a walk in the neighborhood or I'm going to go to the gym or I'm going to go to a yoga class or whatever, I go ahead and put all my workout clothes out right next to my bed along with my shoes and socks. That way, the minute I get up in the morning, I can go ahead and change into that and I'm ready to go. That makes it so much easier to get your workout done. I loved your questions. I loved getting a chance to answer them. I hope you learned a little bit more about me, about my channel, and I just appreciate it all so much. So please like and subscribe. We're going to have a lot of great videos coming up here in the next few weeks. See you next time. Bye-bye.